After being mauled by a werewolf, Wolverine woke up in a hospital bed, only to transform into one himself. Now, trapped between man and beast, he's been taken in by a pack with their own war to fight. To survive, he has to follow them into battle, but at what cost? Second night, the Kodiak film plant was alive with terror. The night shift workers had no warning, just the sudden crash of glass as the full moon bathed them in silver light. A pack of werewolves tore through the ceiling, landing like living nightmares. Among them was Wolverine, but not Logan. Not anymore. He was something else now. A werewolf, with adamantium bones and claws, and he was not in control. It was like watching himself on a screen. Trapped, helpless, unable to look away, unable to stop it. He was just the passenger. A terrified chemist locked eyes with him and ran. Logan's claws were out before he could stop them, gleaming in the cold factory light. The man sprinted for a closet and slammed the door shut. Not good enough. Logan's claws sank through steel like butter. The door was gone in seconds. He crawled through the jagged hole and loomed over his prey. The chemist held up a photo, a family, a wife, 2 kids. "Please," the man begged. "They need me." Logan leaned in close and howled. The chemist collapsed, shaking, as Logan turned and left. From a high perch, Logan watched the chaos unfold below. The factory workers ran, but they weren't in danger. Malik, the alpha, had trained them not to hunt humans, not out of mercy, just to avoid police attention. But scaring them? That was allowed. Nissa, Malik's sister, was the best at that. She held a struggling chemist above her head, fangs bared in a vicious grin. Logan stared at her. She did this to him, chose him as her mate, made him what he was. At the top of a metal staircase, Malik held a man by the collar. "Who poisoned our water?" he growled. The factory worker stammered. "Silver nitrate. It was dumped into the marsh to cut costs after the company filed for bankruptcy. The bank had forced them to do it." Bankers. Malik's lips curled into a snarl. "Do I look human to you?" The worker barely had time to shake his head before Malik threw him across the room. Then he smiled. He had what he came for. Deerfield Bank and Trust. Just outside Chicago. They had a target now. Logan asked where they were going. Malik didn't even look at him. "You don't get to ask questions, pup." The next morning, Kitty Pryde arrived at the factory with her guide, Jack Russell. He was no stranger to Logan's pain. She was sure Logan could fight off his lycanthropy. Jack? He wasn't so sure. After years of searching for a cure, he'd given up. He wasn't going to break Kitty's heart by telling her that. But he could track Logan, though. That much he could do. Before they could start, a factory worker grabbed Kitty's shoulders in a panic. "Pryde? Carmen Pryde?" Her stomach twisted. That was her father's name. The worker's eyes were wild with fear. "The werewolves are coming for him." "Diner, stop." The werewolf pack took over a roadside diner, drinking, laughing. It was their way. It was not Logan's way. He glanced down at the banker's business card, barely poking out of Malik's pocket. If he could get it, maybe. He spilled his drink. Malik grunted as beer splashed across the table. Logan quickly grabbed a napkin, palming the card in the same motion. Smooth, he stood. Bathroom. Inside, Logan flipped the card over. His heart sank. "Nice try, pup." Malik's voice growled behind him. Logan turned, too slow. A hand clamped around his throat. "I ate the card," Malik whispered. "Didn't need it anyway. I'll find your banker the old-fashioned way." "By scent," Malik smiled. "Hunting humans is hard at first, but after your first kill, it gets easier." Logan's claws twitched. "Not if I kill you first." Third night. Kitty raced home. She phased through the front door. Silence. Something was wrong. Then she saw them. Flowers on the coffee table. Anniversary flowers. Her parents were out on a date. In Chicago. The voice from the shadows was not her father's. "You're the Pryde girl?" A pair of glowing yellow eyes stared at her. "We got you a gift, too." He stepped forward. Kitty had seconds to react before he lunged. Crash! Jack Russell exploded through the window. They fought like animals. Snarls, claws, fangs. Jack won. Kitty sighed in relief, until Jack turned on her. He slashed. His claws passed through her intangible body. Kitty frowned. "Hey, you're supposed to be saving me, dummy." She slapped him over the head with a magazine. She had a new plan. Her parents' anniversary cruise was in downtown Chicago. They had to move. Fast. Chicago, the Pryde's cruise floated peacefully under the city lights. Then glass shattered. Werewolves rained from the sky. Malik stood tall on the upper deck. "Good evening, rich people," he sneered. "Tonight's special? You!" Logan landed beside him, muscles tense. The beast inside was frothing at the mouth. He smelled fear. He smelled prey. Then he recognized the scent before the faces. The banker and his wife. Kitty Pryde's parents. Logan's human side fought for control. For the first time since the transformation, his healing factor finally beat the werewolf virus. His body twisted, bones snapping, claws retracting. He swiped at Malik instead of Carmen and Terry Pryde. The pack hesitated. That was all Logan needed. He stood between them and the civilians. They're not part of this. His voice was steel. You want to hunt? His claws gleamed. Come and get me. The werewolves lunged. Meanwhile, Kitty sped through the streets with the werewolf Jack Russell in the car. As soon as he jumped out, she crashed the car into the cruise ship. A Mustang fell from the sky, slamming onto the deck in an explosion of fire and metal, sending werewolves flying in every direction. The wreckage hissed as it sank into the black water, steam rising like ghosts of the battle that had just ended. Wolverine barely registered the chaos, his mind still caught between instincts, between the man he was and the beast they wanted him to be. Kitty floated nearby, her hands gripping his shoulders, pulling him toward the shore. Dude, she huffed, shaking water from her hair, I so totally rescued you. Logan let out a tired breath, managing the smallest smirk. Guess you did, kid? She glanced toward the river, then back at him. I gotta find my parents. He shook his head. They're okay. Saw him jump ship. Kitty studied him, catching something in his expression. Something heavy. What did they do to you? Logan exhaled, eyes locked on the dark water. They wanted me to join them, said I was like them. Maybe they weren't wrong. Kitty frowned. But you're not. Logan finally looked at her. No, he said. I got my own pack. The X-Men. His family. The ones who took him in when he had nothing. The ones who made him better, stronger. That pack on the ferry, they wanted him to forget all that. To lose himself. But he ain't that lost. Somewhere out there, the pack is gone. And across the city, Jack Russell, human once more, drifts through the streets, coat wrapped tight against the cold. No destination, no direction, just a stray looking for what every lone wolf needs. A pack, a home, something worth fighting for.